Hey, what's up, grinders? Cool. I am Colossos. It is. We get like small 3-bet. I think I'm willing to shove it in here. Min 3-bet, ace king. They're both not fully stacked. His 5 hands, 60-40. I think I'm just shipping in ace king. Don't really. Yeah, just let's keep it. Ship it. Reason being is that the donkeys really call it off here with way worse, and especially the guy with the 5. Oh, unfortunately it doesn't. Well, anyway, let me start over the video. We are the middle of October. It is Sunday afternoon, so probably a lot of fish at the tables. I have my coffee here with me, and I decided to grind a little bit. It's raining outside. Obviously calling here with the ace jack. Table number 2. I'm thinking of leading here. I think he's gonna bet the ace quite a bit, so I'm gonna check it to him. It's an overcard. I just don't want a 10 or a queen to come off on the river. He bets 76. I think if we raise, we over-represent our hand, and he's only gonna continue with something better like a set 10 queen, ace king. I don't think he ever even continues if I check raise here with ace x, so no real options here besides calling. The deuce of diamonds might scare him, and I can check it did scare him because it completed the flush. Let's see what he had. He had complete air, so it's nice. My thought process in the sense that he was going to bet the ace because it is an overcard to the board and it should be better. The ace is better for his range than my range. So most of the time people will bet that ace when it comes off. And indeed he had 7-8. He had nothing. I'm gonna talk a little bit further about that hand because I said people will bet that ace when it comes out if they have nothing, because it's a great bluffing card. If he had a pair of kings on the flop and an ace comes off, people often tend to check behind because now king 10 off suited. So I'm just gonna play it on a button. If he had a pair of kings, obviously when an ace comes off he's cursing at his screen because the only overcard to his pair came off, and oftentimes they check behind. But 99% of the time when they have nothing and an ace comes off, they usually bet again. King 10, this is like a really tiny bet with the 6-6 queen. I think I'm gonna raise it, and actually no, I'm just gonna call it and take it away later. Not the best card, on the contrary, actually the queen is a horrible card. I doubt he's even folding ace x now on table number 1, so I'm just gonna have to give up there and fold. Okay, so we're Sunday. I just finished a little trip with the motorcycle, but it started raining, so decided to call it a day and play some poker. 9-10 suited, somebody raised under the gun. A really standard, typical, tight, aggressive guy. I'm gonna call. I'm not playing solely to hit. For instance, this flop I will check raise. If he bets, he does bet. He bets quite big even. Kind of surprised because this is usually not a flop that people like to see bet with ace jack. And on table number 1, I'm just gonna make a raise. Still gonna make a raise here. Doesn't need to be big. If he has something like ace jack, he's gonna fold instantly to my raise. If he has like aces or kings, which I think is a decent part of his range, he's gonna ship it in. And he does fold. When you call with these hands like 9-10 suited, out of position, do have a plan. Don't think, okay, I will stack him when I hit. You rarely ever hit with a 9-10 suited, something really decent. So you have to have some kind of strategy post flop to know, like for instance, this is a great flop, check raise. I mean, I have a gut shot, I have backdoor. I don't really count my 2 overs as outs. Now this guy bets 75 cents. This is in this pot where a 15-11 guy bets on the river when the queen comes off. I am not good. Please don't call here. A 15-11 guy, even with a, he might even just check call with jack queen. I don't think he ever bets here with a worse hand than mine. So I'm just gonna fold here. Seems really needy, but against the 15-11 guy, I mean, can't imagine. These guys don't do that type of stuff. They're just way too needy. What I wanted to talk about today in this video, while obviously commenting on the hands that come up, is river play. I've noticed in my previous sessions that I sometimes forget to value bet the river, and value betting the river is really important. I'm gonna raise the deuce king suited here on table number 1, since that there is a really big fish in the big blinds. Queen 8 suited, this is a 3-bet on table number 4. The guy is really tight. I'm just gonna 3-bet, see how he reacts to it. And with the ace jack, the guy has like 15 big blinds left. I'm just gonna bet it and try to get all the money in, obviously. Unfortunately, I could interestingly I could squeeze here on table number 4, but I did make a 3-bet. Just I think I just made a 3-bet, so I'm just gonna let this one go. And here with the king deuce suited, since the raise is so small, I'm definitely not falling. And this is in flop, we can just check fold on. Queen 9 here. I'm gonna bet. There's a lot of draws who can call me on table number 2. Guy bets like 60 cents on table number 1. Obviously I have no equity in that pot whatsoever, so I'm just gonna give up. But if he has something like a really decent ace-x, I believe this guy would bet like pot, seeing that there are already 3 spades out. Just something to keep in mind. Queen 3 suited, I'm gonna 3-bet here on the button versus an unknown. But I suppose he's fully stacked. He probably is aware of position, so I'm guessing his late position open is going to be quite wide and contains a lot of, well, insta 4-bet. Didn't even think about it. Interesting. So we're just gonna snap fold, but I'm Hollywooding just a little bit. 5, 6, 7, 8. We got a straight. In these spots, I rarely, unless I had like 5 8s of clubs, I would raise. But here with 5 8 against a fish who is never going to fold like anything, it's just fine to call here. Hope to hit your straight and just take a lot of money. The jack is, well, it's not the best card, obviously. I'm just gonna call one more time. I do think I'm gonna get paid off by this fish if I hit one of my cards. This is one of them, and this in this part I will raise. Of course, the clubs isn't the greatest, but he's still gonna pay me off with a lot worse. He never has a club, by the way, because he would bet way bigger. I'm just gonna bet pot. These guys just. I doubt this guy is even gonna fold anything. He's just too curious whether to see if he has a queen. He's insta calling. I didn't, so he didn't even have a queen. Get 3 bet and then here shove on table number 4, easy fold. I'm gonna start tagging people green, doing weird kind of things. Table number 2 is pretty quiet, this guy, but he only has. Okay, what happened on table number 1? Did I raise? I don't remember. Did he limp in and I raised? I don't know. I don't remember table number 1. I'm just gonna bet it. I'm gonna bet quite big here against the guy. And on table number 2, this is a good hand to be 3-betting. Well, 4-8 suited. Actually, I'm gonna min raise. Well, I'm gonna ISO raise even with 4-8 suited. The donkey. We flop middle pair on a board that's really draw heavy. Every single hand just hit that flop, so I'm just giving up with 4-8. Oh, sorry, that was my coffee mug hitting the microphone. Pocket aces. Okay, I was talking about the river betting, why it's so important. Easily go take a look at your stats, see how many big blinds you make per hour. This is interesting. I would I don't know, now I'm just gonna fold. See how many big blinds you make per hour, and you'll probably be surprised how low it is. Poker is a slow game. You don't make a lot of money. I don't think there's any value in betting like tiny on table number 3. Either he calls or he folds. That's it. So we get 3-bet here on table number 2 with pocket 8s. This guy doesn't 3-bet that often. I'm just gonna fold in there with the pocket 8s. So if you take a look at your stats on the river, sorry. If you take a look at your stats, your overall win rate, especially at the microstakes, big blinds per hour, it won't be really big. So why is river betting so important? Because the amount of money that is going into a river bet is exponentially big, way bigger than it is at the flop. Granted, you can say that you will see a lot more flop situations than you will see river situations, and that is true. But still, even at the river, like at 10 and 0, even if the pot is big and you bet like 5 big blinds, just to get a call by the weirdest kind of stuff, people will call you with like ace high, just because they're curious to what you're doing. And those 5 big blinds extra on that river bet where you would have normally checked is going to help your win rate enormously. I'm just afraid that if I 3-bet on table number 4, that this guy is just not even gonna fold, but still. I'll do it. The reason why I'm doing it is because I believe that this guy might be ISO raising really light and is just going to fold to my 3-bet. So I hope in this video I can get into some river situation where I can make really value bets that will add to your win rate enormously. Go ahead, take a look at your spots where you check behind on the river and you've won. And think about all the times that you could have squeezed out a little tiny bet out there, and with tiny I mean compared to the pot. Obviously once in a while you will lose, because sometimes people, especially really needy people, will check to you with 2 pair on the river, planning to check call you, and you think that with your top pair you can make a tiny small value bet, while basically against those needy people you really can't. Jack 4 suited, I'm just actually gonna raise it. Guy on the button is really tight on table number 4, and I'm always focusing on the people who are less skilled. If another heart would have come off on table number 2, sorry, I would have made a double barrel, but this guy, he normally falls to continuation bets a lot, more than 70% of the time. Now he calls the jack. Just don't like it. It might give him 2 pair. It might give him, like, if he had a straight, he now has a pair plus a straight. So I'm just gonna check this one and be done with it. You might notice that I am, that's a big bet for a guy playing, well, it's not playing really tight. I do have 1000 hands on him, so must be some regular at these stakes. He is also, maybe I have hands on him from other stakes, because I can't imagine a supernova grinding out 10 and 0. Okay, so we got 2 interesting hands. Pocket queens against the donkey. This guy just limped and he's playing on his iPhone or smartphone, whatever. So I'm gonna make it 50 cents. No reason to make it, I can make it 40, but I think if he calls, he calls. If he folds, he folds. He calls. Not the best flop on both occasions, by the way. I'm gonna check in both spots. I think I keep their ranges widest if I do this. Okay, on table number 4 I'll really have the best hand, because I think he would bet a king always if I check to him. So now I'm just gonna bet here, hoping to get called by a draw or a pair of 7s. And on table number 4 I also have the best hand. Table number 3, so time to squeeze out. That's a big bet essentially versus the guy playing 13-8. Should have made it smaller. Here, but let's just check call. Let him bluff whatever he wants to. Okay, he bets like 10 cents. I'm gonna make it like this river. I think I have the best hand, and I think if I make like a tiny raise, like 30, I still gonna get called by a lot worse, just because he's so curious. It's possible that I'm beat here, but I think a lot of the time I'm gonna have the good hand and he's just gonna call with something worse, and he did. Okay, and this is the stuff I'm talking about. And I even for 7 jacks suited here on table number 1, just thinking about, well, I'm gonna call because in the big blinds I'm gonna attack in green. There's a weaker player and I hope he comes along, and I have a decent hand. 7 jack suited. Now when he makes it 80 cents, that's really too expensive to play with a hand with such an implied odds type of hand. But okay, let's take a look here. That's a great situation here on table a great example here on table number 2. What was it? With the king 3. So he made a min bet on the river, and I raised him a little bit. I knew I had the best hand. If he would have re-raised me, it's an easy fold. I mean, people don't raise rivers as bluffs. Percent. I'm just gonna steal here. It's 40. Ace 8's offsuits. I don't like to play these hands, but there's a donkey in the big blind and the small blind on table number 1, so we're gonna raise it. And we get called on a button. The small blind obviously comes along. King Queen. This is a hand. It's often so dominated. I don't want to 3-bet him. I think I've 3-betted before there, so I'm just gonna fold King Queen. Ace 8. I have to bet here. Into 2 people I can't check. Against 1 person I would be able to check this one. Sometimes like 50% of the time against 1 person I would check sometimes, and the other 50% I would bet, just to have my range a little bit covered, so that if I check, people don't instantly go smashing the pot button thinking I have nothing. Purple fold, that's nice. So I was saying something. Yeah, about that king 3 hand. Okay, so I made an extra 20 cent, 2 big blinds, and you might say, "Ooh, wow, 20 cents." Oh, well, I mean, you're playing 10 and L, guys. You're never gonna become a rich guy playing 10 and L. But 10 and L is amazingly good, and 25 and L. Some quick calculations. I don't think even I have the odds to make the call here. 1-11 into the pot. I have to call 1-11. Pot is almost 3. 1 and 3, and I might be dominated with better flushes. This is a close one on table number. I think it's still. I think it was close. Obviously 3-betting here on table number 1. Get a call. Not the best flop. Don't like the flop, basically. A lot of 2-pair, a lot of really good draws with a ton of equity versus me. So we're gonna make a bet here. The 7 is a pretty blank. I know now, for instance, he doesn't have Jack Queen. He doesn't have a set. I think that would have raised. So I'm really, I'm happy with how the hand is playing out here on table number 1. So I can definitely bet again for big this time, to make sure I can get all the money in. That's a little bit small. That's way too small, basically. 10-6. This is a bet. Okay, now it's a call. I forgot to bet here. King 9-8, table number 4. That's way too drawy. Against 2 people, I have 0 equity also. So if one of them calls, I'm basically done with the hand. Still gonna call here. That's great, another 6. We're gonna do the same thing as we did before. He checks behind. And he had Queen Jack. Our hand just improved because the guy on the button doesn't have a king. He would have bet the king. No, I'm not gonna 3-bet the ace. I'm gonna set mine. Hitting sets is amazing at these stakes. Making it 4x small blind versus big blind, just to give them the extra incentive to fold. Playing from the small blind is really difficult. Okay, I'm beat on table number. Well, I might have the best hand, but there's no way some a worse hand will fold. I might have the best hand because there are quite a few draws that I could have called here on the turn. No, I'm gonna call here with ace queen. I'm just checking here behind, and he did have a check. Interestingly, this guy didn't bet the flop. I'm just gonna check call here on table number 2. He might still have something like kings, jacks, queens that didn't want to bet the flop. I'm raising here on table number 3, and I'm raising enough so 150 gets all the money, and then let's make it 180, and then I can ship the turn 190 just to make sure. Not the best, but I'm not falling for a pot-sized bet. I mean, I have to stack off here. Oh fuck! I timed out on table number. On table number 2. That's I didn't plan to fold there. I'm defending 7 kings suited versus a min raise from the button. Jack king, this guy limped in. It's kind of funny. I'm gonna raise jack king, it has really nice high card value. We hit a straight draw. Gonna bet it. If he raises, it kind of sucks, but he insta fold. So basically, this guy had like pocket deuces. Some kind. Oh, I want to hit a set, but I don't want to get 3-bet because then I can't call for profitably with my set mining hand. It's so obvious what these guys sometimes do. Folds to 3-bets, only 50%, so I'm not gonna 3-bet the king 7 suited here. Deuce 3. That's an interesting hand. I'm actually gonna play it deuce 3 suited just because the guy in the big blind again is. They're probably both bad. I'm gonna tag both of them green on table number 1, and I have deuce 3. I can flop like this and do some funky stuff if 5 comes off. It's 30 cents. I'm gonna call once. He might give up after I called once, and I do have the gag shot. He insta checks. I'll try to make a bet here. It doesn't have to be big. 60 cents is enough. If he has air, he is gonna fold. And he does fold. And obviously ace king. We're gonna raise on table number 3. Okay, there was a hand where I didn't bet the river anymore because there was no value in it for. Let me get my thoughts straight here while I play these hands. I get 3-bet again by this guy. 3-bet's like 90%. I'm gonna 4-bet ship. I'm gonna 4-bet this time. Yeah, I'm gonna make it 250. I just oh nah. This is the thing that I didn't want to happen. I have to bet here. Can't. This kind of sucks, but that's how it goes. Thing is, there's a lot of stuff actually to talk about. I'm getting nice hands too. Should have recorded the video and instead of doing the live. What happened here? I forgot to see bet. Well, actually, yeah, I didn't notice that the guy is also so short. I can't really call. Table number 3. We hit a nice hand on table number 1 versus this donkey again. Oh, there are 2 players in the hand, so I'm gonna bet. Usually people play straightforward when the hand is multi-way. And they both fold. Okay, so I told you guys to make sure that on the river you think about your opponent's range. Is he ever gonna call with something worse, or if you're 100% sure that you have the best hand, and even you know that your opponent is really unlikely to call with anything worse, still make the bets. You'll be surprised with what people call with out of curiosity. This is actually a flop. I'm gonna check raise on table number. Oh, he didn't bet, so I'm gonna bet it. On table number 1, if he would have bet, I would have raised the flop. Make a bet here. 60 cents is more than enough on table number 3 to make him a fold. It's an ace high flop. This guy check raises, so he owned us, and we have to fold. Set mining on table number 3. That's wow. That's a big squeeze by a guy who's playing 14-8. He never 3-bets, and now he makes like a huge squeeze. So it's like, oh my god, I have aces, but I don't want all these people in there, so let's make it ridiculously big. So I can just fold my 6s. This guy is stealing, so time to steal. Late position. This guy is just way out of line. I'm gonna 3-bet there just to make sure he slows down a little bit, and he does. I'm just gonna bet 20 cents here. Doesn't really, I don't really want to build a pot, and either he calls or he folds. So like a 10-cent bet is stupid. King queen. We have position. This is a hand. You have to be careful with the king queen because they're easily dominated. And I think I'm gonna go into check call modus versus a guy who probably knows what he's doing, playing 16-14. Not a bad card, the king queen, but still, wow, that's a huge bet. That's a huge bet. I'll call one more time, and that should slow him down. Obviously, possible that he has a jack, and then it's not the best thing. He did insta check. I don't think there's any value in betting, so I'm just gonna check behind. Is there any value in betting like $1 here? Ace king, I think even ace king is going to fold there. And definitely he was not going to call a river bet. Could have raised the turn and probably, yeah, he wouldn't, I don't know if he would fold if I raised the turn. We are pretty deep, almost 200 big blinds, which is good for us because I have position on him, and the deeper you are, the more the deeper you are, the more pressure you can put on your opponent. It's not the flop I was looking for on table number 4. I checked, and he doesn't have the flush draw because the flush draw would have bet. So the only way I can win this hand is actually by betting, which we're just gonna do then. He check, he calls. Kind of funny. It's still possible he has something like a pocket pair that didn't want to bet on an ace high flop. I'm not so sure. I'm just gonna give up here on table number. Oh, I still have the best hand. That's funny. Yeah, king 6. He had the flush draw. 6-3 suited. Unfortunately, this is a little bit too weak to be 3-betting. If it had something like Jack 3 or Queen 3, just because you fold out a lot of his Jacks and Queens combinations, it's a much better hand than 6-3 suited. It's all about the numbers. So let's take a quick look. This guy deserves a green tag on table number 3. This guy deserves a green tag too on table number 2. Then there are still quite a few nitty guys playing. People like playing 15-13, 18-13 here. This guy seems pretty bad too, the guy with the Borat avatar. So he deserves... oh, another yellow one. Green one. Okay. I'm trying to get back to the king-queen hand where I had 2 pair. 8-6 suited. I believe this guy is going to be really bad. Unfortunately, on table number 2 he is on my left. So 8-6 suited therefore is going to be a fold. 10 queen offsuit with a guy on the button who is more than likely to call. I'm just gonna fold 10 queen offsuit. It's great to have aces again while the donkey here is on the button. Under the gun raises. See how the hand plays out. He's 49, that's great, we can squeeze, it's gonna look like I'm bluffing. And I'm gonna raise 7-5 suited because I'm gonna have position on... wow, that's okay, let's squeeze it here, maybe nobody will believe it. I'm gonna make it big enough, don't wanna get to the pot like 15-handed, so I'm gonna make it 140. 1 fold, 2 folds, and hopefully this donkey just calls because he's a donkey and just wants to see the flaw. He folds. Jack 10. I'm just gonna raise it. This guy is limping every single hand already, so Jack 10 is way ahead of his range, even his limp calling range. That's, well, yeah, you can see for yourself that's not a really good flop. I don't think I'm gonna c-bet this one. I'm just gonna check folds if he bets. This guy insta-checked, he didn't even think about it, so I'm gonna bet here 15 cents just to take the pot down with 10 high, would be great. And we do have outs with gut shots. But now he insta calls and the flush draw comes, so I'm just gonna fold. And I'm folding the Jack 10. This guy is really raising every single button. I'm just gonna set mine hoping that the donkey also comes along. So I don't want to 3-bet because I want the other guy to come along. Unfortunately he doesn't, and we don't hit our set. With the pocket 9s, I'm just gonna call. And play the hand in position, set mining. Come on, should deserve sets. Bets 30 cents, kinda weird. I don't think he ever does this with like a jack. It's rather like drawing. He has an ace X. This is such a tiny bet. I'm gonna raise it because I rather raise it now than get some extra value on the river, so I want to get some value now. He insta calls. What is he going to? He's not. He's checking. I'm just gonna check behind right now. I think 2, 3, 4. I doubt that he has a jack because he was betting so small. So I think I have the best hand. I'm gonna bet like 50 cents. Who knows what he's calling me with? He folds. That's unfortunate. People's bet sizes tell really a lot. For instance, I didn't comment on it, but I noticed that with the pocket fives, his c bet here on the button was really small. If you have like aces or kings, I'm gonna show it to you. I don't know, if you guys noticed, but I was thinking about another hand, and that's why you see he's only betting half the pot. Usually, when you have aces on a 10, 6, 7 flop, you don't bet half the pot because you're scared to death that the other guy is going to outdraw on you. Ace 8, I'm gonna defend my big blind against somebody who is probably not the best player. Queen 6-4, it's a really dry flop. I do have the backdoor, but I wonder if this guy continuation bets all the time. So I might actually make a raise here, especially when he makes it this. I'm gonna make a raise once. I'll be done with it, unless like a spade comes off. He insta calls. And no spade came off. Okay, we tried. We failed, so we're just gonna give up. That's a nice river. Question is, can we bet it? I think we can. I'm gonna bet it for value. I will fold to a raise though. I'm gonna bet like $1. If he raises, river raises, I'm beat. But if he calls, I really have the best hand, and gonna make a lot of money by making those types of bets. I could have also checked it to him, but I think he doesn't. Well, let me think about it. Let me think about it whether betting on the river was the right option. So he c-bets quite small. I raise and he insta calls. Here I'm just gonna fold on table number 2. So he bets quite small. I raise and he insta calls. So what can he have then? I would believe that a queen would bet bigger on the flop, on queen 6-4. Queen jack suited here, I'm definitely gonna play it. Don't want to 3-bet it because it's too valuable. Deuce A3. Is it worthwhile check raising? We'll see how his c-bet is. It's a standard size, 40 cents into a 62-cent pot. I'm just gonna check if he c-bets a lot. Continuation bets 2 out of 2 times. The weird thing is that if he has ace x, he shouldn't be betting here. I believe ace x would check there, so I'm gonna raise and see what it does, and he does make the insta fold. Do notice though that if if there was no hearts out on this flop, I would not do that. Do notice also that in my previous videos I told you guys that I was working on my check raising on the flop, or raising on the flop in general, because I noticed when going over my stats I'm only check raising like when, or raising the flop when I have something really good, and I want to disguise that a little bit by making some bluffs. So always working on your game, always trying to improve, which is really important. 9 queen suited. Let's see if we can 3-bet this guy. Folds. He's a new guy. 20 hands. Raises from the cutoff. Since he's new, I'm just gonna let him have this one. 8 queen suited. I would 3-bet this one, but the guy is so short that I can't really profitably 3-bet him. With them, where was the hand with the 9s? Like here, I made a river bet knowing that I have the best hand. I think my river bet might have been a little bit too big. Like, I could have made it like 50 cents and get a call out of some random, like, ace queen would have called probably if I make a river bet of like 50 cents into that pot. I don't know how much did I bet on the river. Let me quickly. Oh shit! Come on. Look, it says I'm not hitting sets. I have to bet here because if I don't bet here, if I bet here, I'm folding out all worse hands. I know this. But if I check here, I'm just gonna make my life way too difficult. He's gonna bet like any card on the turn, and I'm just gonna be playing a guessing game. So sometimes you do want to make life simple. Five kings suited. The worst guy is on the button, so I'm gonna let this one go. Oh no, I did it on the river. Did I make a bet on the river? Yeah. Oh, I did make 50 cents. I like it. I think it's really unfortunate that he just folded. That's fine. Like it. Ace 8 suited. Actually, I'm gonna raise here from under the gun. And Jack 5 suited is going to be a raise on the button. Though this guy does seem to 3-bet 10%, so it's capable of 3-betting. Oh, we get min 3-betted by this guy with his iPhone. That's interesting. Obviously, I'm not folding for 20 cents. I can stack his entire stack if I hit something decent. We get 3-bet here on table number. That's a guy who never 3-bets, so he can have it. And ace 10 offsuit. This is a horrible hand to be playing versus an under the guns raising range, so that's just an insta fold. Really nice play by this guy. He mint 3-bets and then he sees this flop 10-3-4 and pots it. Even. Oh, I love these guys. These guys is where all your money is coming from. I have no idea how long the video has been running, but I do hope that some points came across. Again, I'm working on my game, raising some flops. If it doesn't work, well, so be it. As long as I have some decent reasoning why I do a certain play. And making river bets, which are seemingly really marginal. I do believe they will add a lot to your win rate when used wisely. Even the smaller ones, like betting 50 cents into a $3 pot, just hoping to get called by ace high, and that's 5 extra big blinds. And if you would look at your stats, you would see how long you have to play to win 5 big blinds. And you'd be really happy to just get them on the river for free. 3. Okay. Okay, apparently all my good hands came in the beginning of the video. Ace Jack off suits, that's a hand that needs high cards. We get called by an 18-8. His range is like pocket pairs a lot of the time. We do flop decently. I think against this guy I'm just gonna check. This is what I do sometimes to disguise my range here a bit. Let's say for instance I have kings here, I would check too. I don't want, but then I don't want him to pot it, because eventually I will fold. He checks behind the queen. I don't mind the queen of clubs. I do have the heart of clubs. I'm gonna make a tiny bet now, hoping to get a call by something weakish. No, he really had something like pocket threes. Okay. Although I think pocket threes would make a bluff on the flop, because it's the only way he can win the hand. Pocket nines, what happened here? This is... I'm gonna have to raise this one though. Limp, okay, a few guys just limped in. Maybe he's gonna do the famous limp re-raise. Oh, he folds. And they both fold. Well, that's fine for me. And pocket nines is not a hand that's easily to play out of position versus 2 calling stations, so happy with that result. Ace 3 suited, gonna raise. There's a fish in the small blind. And Jack Queen, I'm just looking at the blinds here with Jack Queen. I mean, everybody's so tight at this table, I'm just gonna raise Jack Queen offsuit. It's a little bit loose though. And 7, 8, we're gonna fold. Again, here, sometimes I would check behind, but here we are up against 2 people. Combined, they can have a lot of outs against me, so I am going to bet here. If somebody calls, I probably have the best hand, although sometimes they will have a better ace-x. If they raise, I can easily fold, because nobody's raising here as a bluff when there are 3 people in the hand. So just bet it and get the hand over with. By the way, if I would have gotten raised on this flop, I would insta fold. I mean, you're up. I mean, that's an. You have ace 3 on a 4 ace 7 flop. There's straight draws, there's flush draws, there's sets everywhere. There are better ace axes, so it's an easy fold if you get raised there. Even if somebody has like 5, 6 of spades would be an awesome hand, but even if somebody has Jack Queen of spades, you're not doing that good equity wise, and you're gonna have a hard time if he raises and he bets again on the turn to make that call and to go to showdown, even with ace with top pair. So you might as well fold there. Ace king. I really want this guy to do something on the button. I hope he squeezes and I can re-squeeze. Maybe he read some book that he's on the button and about something about squeezing. Doesn't do it. That's unfortunate. Maybe it's a supernova will squeeze. He's capable of it. Yeah, 3 bets, 10%. No, he only calls. That's really sucks for this type of hand like ace king, because You don't want to go to the flop with these types of hands with a lot of people. You don't want to go to the flop with a lot of people with ace king offsuit. Flop a nice hand on table number 3 against the guy. Oh no, 29-19. I feel like if I bet here, I feel like he's gonna fold a lot of hands. On the other hand, I don't want an ace or a king to come off. I'm just gonna check behind here, top pair. I'm gonna check behind again. Just bets 20. I'm gonna make like a tiny raise. Now. And again, we get that little bit extra of big blinds. Probably with a hand that, yeah, he has 9-10. Okay, so I mean, yeah, that's probably could have raised bigger. What is happening here? 4, 7, 3, 10. I'm gonna actually bet this one. I think so, if somebody had a 10, he would have bet the flop by now. The turn, sorry, if somebody has a 10. So I can bet the river safely if somebody does call, and I do have obviously the nut flush draw, so that's fine there with the ace king. Okay, I think there's been quite a bit of hands in this video. Some interesting, some less interesting. Jack 4 suited, that's such a 3-bet happy hand. This guy folds to 3-bets quite a bit. I'm gonna do this. Oh, we hit a set. Okay, let's bet it's there's quite a it's quite a drawy flop, so let's bet it. Either he's gonna call. That's good. Okay, let's bet it again. Bet it like $1 to induce something. Ah, we get 4-bet on table number. I'm just gonna fold. I doubt he has ace jack, so we're gonna make a bet here again. I think not the best. I think he has queen x quite a bit. He did insta check. I'm just gonna make a small bet. I don't think he has something really good. His check was just way too fast. Let's see what he have. He had 10 jack. That's wow. Surprised he pays it off, but that's wow. I'm really surprised. A guy playing 14-13 and calls a river with like 3rd pair medium kicker. So he must have put me on a complete bluff. I'm gonna check here the ace deuce check call. Check call. Let's go to showdown with ace. It's possible that he has a better ace x. He doesn't have a pocket pair because a pocket pair would have betted. I just hope he has something like queen jack. Well, it's possible that he has a better ace x, but no, we can go. He lets us go to showdown and pick up the hand. And he has jack queen. Wow, I can read people's hands. Okay, so I'm gonna sit out the blinds. Actually, I'm just gonna close out the video here. Stop. Ace jack suited. I'm gonna play it just because it's on the button. So quite a bit of hands, quite an interesting match. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something about it. If you have any questions about the hands, I know sometimes I do not respond instantly in the Grinder School forums, but yeah, I mean, just wake up, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.